Welcome to Planet Pluto Shoot.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. Whoop, whoop. Tango, tango, tango. Hey, hey. What's happening, blacks? How's my good people doing out there? Welcome to Planet Pluto Pseudo with none other than me, your home girl, LaDosha Wright, aka Lean Gear Key Lolo. And then right over here, right? Y'all know who that is. It's the Hair Oracle, aka Cheryl Morrow. We are coming to you live and direct from Cleveland, where it's a little warm, Ohio, okay? And then sunny San Diego. San Diego, it's a little what? It's a little warm there. She's like, yeah.
Yeah, I got the door open.
Oh, you know what? I can't stand them Californians. You know, anywho, welcome. Y'all come on in. We have a wonderful episode is going down tonight here on Planet Pluto Pseudo. I know y'all like, what's going on? What y'all talking about tonight? Y'all come on in. Let me get a little graphic. Y'all know I didn't learn how to use Canva. They're like, stop using Canva. I'm like this. Hold on. Stop using Canva. I'm like this. Nope, I ain't gonna stop. Okay. 110 episodes in, guys, and tonight it is all about science and Afro hair, or science and Afro hair products. I put a period after that one. Okay. All right. That's what's going down tonight. It's what no one, and I do mean what no one is telling you about Afro hair science tonight. Cheryl and I, we are going to break it down. Y'all coming on in. I'm telling you, what's up, Yate? I can't wait to see what you got going on this Sunday. Y'all don't forget. Let me put her up here.
I know.
We got to show my girl love 24/7.
What's up,
I think I should give me a number one. I got to give me a number one fan badge or something. I'm just coming through the chat, you know, like I'm Yate's number one fan. I'll never let her get a chance to let nobody else. I'll be like, it's me, Key Lolo. She's like, oh my God, it's LaDosha. So y'all check Yate out every Sunday at 8:00 p.m. That's going to be EST. And I believe she's the only female barber podcast out here in these streets. And let me tell you, she handling that all by her. That's her lane. Anybody coming after, I'm gonna be like this. Excuse me, scoot over. Y'all tell like, don't be starting. Y'all tell you know I don't mess around when it comes to you. What's up, WK? I see you coming in. Also, K, we got something for you tonight. La Earth or LA Earth was in here kicking it with us earlier. Lawana says she got to be out. Hey, Claude, how you doing over there on Instagram? And I hope everybody's on Facebook. Is ready to have a wonderful discussion this evening. Again, we're talking about what no one tells you about Afro hair science, because apparently, rumor has it is that they want to know the question: is the science in the hair, or is it in the hair care products? I brought some, some hair care products. Somebody made a comment about some hair care products when it comes to Black hair care products. So they say our products ain't got nothing but some butter. They said Black hair product, we ain't got nothing but some shea butter. This is my shea butter. And then the white folks products, they got some science. Look at all them ingredients. Look at all them ingredients they got in there. And they say, y'all ain't got nothing in y'all products. So we're going to talk about that too. So we can find out, is there any science in the hair and the hair care products? But that's how it's going down. I hope you guys are getting ready for the new year, and the holidays is coming up. So I'm sure y'all about ready, to do what y'all need to do for the New Year's. If y'all got some New Year's resolutions, I remember when I
That's
was
right.
younger, I loved New Year's resolutions. So I hope you guys have some hair goals for 2026. And but because tonight, hopefully by the end of the year, as we conclude a whole year dedicated to what has the natural hair movement taught you about your hair. Hopefully you'll be able to answer that. Okay, that's number one. Number two, we hope you guys won't be spending much more money on this hair, because that's the one thing. The money and the time seems to be what people pretty much got out of the movement so far. But we still have time. It's still 2025, and maybe
Right.
we'll hear some stuff. But if you want to, we do have a catalog of podcasts here on YouTube, also on Facebook. I just can't seem to get our podcast to stay on Instagram. I have tried everything to save our lives on Instagram, and I can't make it happen. So if you know how I can do that, please inbox me and say, this is what you got to do, idiot. Okay. So this is going to be a wonderful discussion. We got about 4 clips to help move this conversation along. To those of you who are new to our channel, what's going on, Dia? How you doing out there? Just a little bit about what we do here on planet Pluto Pseudo. This particular podcast, it is dedicated to licensed professionals in the hair, nail, and skin business. Okay, students, of course, and instructors, as well as what we call our hair nerds or hair aficionados. These are people who just absolutely love hair. And our goal with this podcast is to really clarify, debunk, challenge, answer, solve all
Man.
those types of things that's related to Afro hair. I am a licensed cosmetologist, a salon owner. I'm a Formisi certified master colorist, an author, an activist. Cheryl, she is an heiress to the California Curl Empire. She's the editor in chief. Her dad had SD Monitor News. She's also an Afro hair scientist, an author, a policy advocate. So we're the people. We are the it girls in the industry behind the chair, and we got legacy here. I don't have that. And for the record, in case you guys want to know, well, who made y'all the authority? I mean, like, where y'all come from? For the record, Cheryl's dad, Dr. Willie Morrow, he penned curly hair science back in the late 1960s, but some of us are just not finding out about it. So we're here with that science to kind of help clear some things up. And tonight, as Sandra would say, we hope you guys have your notebooks ready because we're going to get into it, right, Cheryl?
Let's get into it.
You get into it. Okay. So we're going to hop into this topic. So let's start off with some questions to everybody. The first thing we want to know is does Afro hair really have science? I mean, yes or no? How many people really think or believe or know? I think there is some science. Like, is there something different, about Afro hair and how it lives and how it grows and just how it responds, to products and things of that nature. Is it really that serious? Or is it what I've been taught when I was in cosmetology school? I was taught that hair is just hair. It's all the same. It's just on the different complexions of skin. It could be different. So that is what I was taught. If you were taught that, you can say me too. I was taught that too. So I was taught that all hair was hair, and I would say that a lot in my career in the beginning. I would always regurgitate that hair is hair. What difference does it make? They make it too much out of it. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Let us know. So Cheryl, as people drop their opinions in the chat, that dang, it's just keratin, cortex, medulla. Why y'all tripping? Talk about some Dr. Morrow in 1960. So Cheryl, what's your let's we gonna go ahead on and hop into it.
Okay.
Is there
Well,
any science in Afro hair? Because some of these reels is gonna
of course it is. It is
okay.
a well, first of all, just because it's keratin, just because all hair is hair, or whatever premise we have, doesn't mean it doesn't have a science. I know we like to say, oh, well, it's just this, it's just that, it's just fiber. If you guys could even understand that there is fur science, there is fiber science, there's light science, anything that has a physiology has a science to it. And I think because straight hair has been the central subject, we think that we throw it all away to it just being observable or it just for styling or it's just, but no, it does have physical attributes that are worth observing through experiential evidence, study, and characteristics. You study the characteristics as it reacts to elements such as air and water and temperature and things of that nature. So it does have a behavior science, it does have a chemical science, and it does have a behavior science. It has
I
lots.
was gonna ask that because I'm sure some people are like, well, when you say science, kilo law, because ghetto folk, we don't know that much, kind of like, what do you mean by science? And I like the way you kind of elaborated on that because I think that could be, when we think of science, we always think of the white jacket. Something about the white
Yeah,
jacket really makes you very scientific, but blue collars and turtlenecks with holes in them and
even
black
styling.
cardigans,
Yeah,
yeah, they
even
don't
the
they
style.
don't
They only think about
yeah.
the artistic element, and the artistic is one level, uh, but even there's a science to even the artistic application, right? There's certain
Mm-hmm.
artistic maneuvers or methods don't work, and some do.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And to decide which one works and doesn't work would be called a science, right?
Mm.
So once you know the difference between that, you are automatically a science. So I don't even know why hairdressers and hairstylists and professional barbers and things of that nature, especially barbers, you're using blades. So you are cutting into the skin and you are cutting and scissors and things of that nature. There's so much. And then you're working on so many different levels of skin. You're working on neck skin, facial skin, side skin, ears, eyebrows, nose, ears. I mean, there's just so many different turns to it, but we have to look and approach it as
But there
scientific.
now, now Cheryl
Fun.
is saying that we have to take a scientific approach, and she just broke down some a very obvious, and in case we didn't know, which I didn't know, reasons of why and how there is science to Afro hair. But as we move into this topic about what no one tells you about Afro hair science, and just let me know and again, just drop me too. I hear that too, something like that, just so we can know. We ain't out here talking to the crickets or whatever. But now, when you go on social media, right, when it comes to Afro hair, I'm not seeing this so much from other ethnicities and other textures of hair, but there is a huge, I mean, the attack on every aspect of how we do hair in
Mm-hmm.
some capacity is being
Mm-hmm.
attacked. So
Yeah.
first it started with the relaxers, that it was
Mm-hmm.
an anti-chemical thing, right? I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to use chemicals. I only want to use things that's natural. Everybody became a natural something, a
Natural
natural
something.
hair person, a healthy hair. I hope you guys are following me, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so then they went from the chemicals, then they went straight to what you're using, your shea butters, your essential oils, your oils, you know. Now then they went to concocting stuff, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so, but now they're flipping. Now it sounds like the natural hair movement is turning on itself. I just Number one, we talked about this last week. They're
Yeah.
attacking hair grease. Like all of a sudden,
Mm-hmm.
grease, like or petroleum. I guess for a long, I didn't know this until I heard the pot,
Mm-hmm.
the the real that if you use blue magic or something, that is bad. Like it clogs your follicles, and I'm like, what? Like it's really. And then they start attacking the braids, right? They said if you're adding artificial hair, the artificial hair causes cancer, and it just keeps getting worse. And now they're attacking the weaves, if the the protective hairstyles. And I Is anybody else like, what is going on? Like, is it anything that can we do anything good enough for our hair? Everything is damaged, damaged, damaged. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
just confused as we get into the topic about, is there a science? Can we really use science when it's so much doom and gloom? And I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. So let me let me apologize before okay, Kay giving me permission, Kay, because Kay said the natural hair movement have been attacking hair grease for a long time. So Kay knows something. The earth, I see you in the chat and everybody, okay? So I'm just gonna go ahead on and say it.
Okay.
It's just dirty hair. The hell? Shit. They
But
just making a big fuss over dirty hair.
I see
I
the,
mean,
the,
I
the
just
issue
don't know,
for
like,
me.
why are they everything? They're attacking every single thing. Like, I think the words that they use, like when we say, when I say, I can't believe y'all fell for it, I just think the way that they word some of the stuff is just costing people so much money. So when I talk about it, I'm just talking about because I want to save y'all some money and some time. But I'm not anti weave. I'm not anti, chemicals. I'm not anti grease. I'm not anti, box braids, but they just going, nothing is good except, you ready for this? Straight naturals. Does your hair do this? I mean, does your hair, is it silky? When you
I know,
wet it, does all your curls come back? Like, what the hell is
but is that
going on?
no? But isn't that three card Monty? Like, aren't they switching it really quick? Because of
Are you
course,
guys following us?
no, seriously, heat was the grease of natural hair about 4 or 5 years ago, from Y2K up until about 2 years
Last
ago.
week.
Now, last week, well, okay, and then now heat. Once you take heat, put the extreme tension on it to make curly hair straight is a tension state. I want y'all to know that's a tension state. Once you blow dry and flat, now we're using heat to assist us in finding the split ends. So you don't see the split ends once you curl the hair back up, but you see the split ends once the hair gets straight. And so the vast difference of the hair that straightens smoothly, and then they will put the comb in the hair, and then once it stops, that's the hair that needs to be cut. But if you curl the hair back up, you wouldn't see that.
That's it. Y'all see what we
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, that
That
that that
comb gets stuck. Oh, heaven forbid you got some hair fall. Oh Lord. If you got if you have a strand of hair on your clothes, you're going to hair hell. You
or
can't
your
have a Oh my gosh! If you have, you got some hair on your clothes. I'm like,
What?
so that's like, you got a
Well,
booger.
the funny thing is, they would never have a dog or a cat because they
I
would
mean, it's
swear
like I don't
going
understand.
their pet was going bald. Yeah.
Y'all know what we
Well,
talking about. If your hair do this, that comb gets stuck, y'all see that? Should I do some ASMR? Can y'all hear those damaged? Can
okay,
y'all
Lola,
hear that?
you
I know y'all can hear them. Let me try it again. ASMR, the sound of trichophtalosis. I just
stop.
don't get it. We have to get into it. We have
Okay.
to liberate you guys. So Cheryl, keep going. I'm sorry. I'm just being Petty Franklin right about now.
But no, what I was getting ready to say is that, and Kay is right. We've been hating on Greece for a long time, and the problem is not that we have different likes or dislikes or prejudices or discriminative taste. It's that we just need to have the right reason why we do, and
What you
that
mean?
is, well, if you're going to dislike something, or if you're going to like something, if you're going to believe something or not believe something, you need to have the right reason why you don't or do. And that is the problem, because at one point, Afro hair science is the discipline and the ideology and the philosophy that says, first off, just have the right information. What does science say? What does chemistry say? What does biology say? What does formulation say? What does physiology say? What does, what does it all say? What does chemical science say about it? What does,
Genetics? Yeah. What does
all
genetics say?
right, absolutely. What do genes or chromosomes, what does all of that say about, and then you have what we call this, what makes it a science. Then you have all of the observable information. When you can see it with your eyes and your hands, and you can feel it, those are also, it takes, the sensory issues in characteristics and features. Those things are to give us the theories and the theorems and the research and findings to how we determine whether we like something or not. So it can be at least scientifically true or scientifically sound, something that makes
Mm,
sense. And so, in something that is sound or makes sense, is something that occurs more than once, no matter what the circumstances, no matter what environment you put it in. It goes back to a certain particular finding that is true for most of the variants of textures. And that's how we make, we should be giving our consultancy to our clients, consultancy to customers. This is what we should be basing our books and on, not what just making it up as we go, because what the customer experiences is not what we know to be true about something, and so we have to correct them so to make
mm.
sure that, but when they get several different pieces of advice about one thing, and we change it so vastly, and then they begin to buy products based on that. They begin
Yeah.
to do it based on that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that because we want you guys money so bad,
Yeah.
we do some strange, what they say, what we say in the hood, we do something strange for some change. You know what I'm saying? And so hence planet Pluto pseudo. The science, the fake science, it's really foxy and it sounds really good. And tonight we have we got about 3 to 4 clips that we're going to use that supposedly has some science in it. Now these of course are opinions about Afro hair and the products or whatever. So we're going to kind of help you guys, especially in the professional world, because I think some of the professionals are kind of getting caught up in some of the hype around, fear mongering and just trying to use the technical terms and stuff like that. So let's help everybody out tonight by giving some feedback and actually putting some scientific context. And then, of course, you guys can drop your questions in the chat, especially if you have some issues behind or around the chair that Cheryl and I can help you with. We love to do that tonight. But we going to start off. Let's just start off with this first one. We ain't going to even use no video. The science of split ends, okay? When it comes to Afro hair. So you made a comment. Now, we all know what an Afro look like, right? So I have to put a picture up of an Afro. I'll just use this one here. Okay, here we go. Let's just use this one. All right. So this is her hair. Okay. So so her hair is in this nice Afro natural state, right? So on that particular hair, why is it or how is it? Let's start with both. How can we see her split ends, and why don't we address split ends in this state? Like, we got to do it like this. So let's start off, because when the comb does catch, it's something about what happens down here that really gets in people's mind, that this hair somehow, LaDosha has color in her hair. There is no way she could not have split ends. But when we see it in this state, right? Unless it's stringy now. If you got stringy pieces on this hair, then it's heat damage. So let's give us the science of the split ends, the heat damage, and the Afro hair, so that they can understand what is happening. And I'll just flick back and forth between this image and my hair for the visual when it comes to the science of Afro hair, when it comes to split ends, aka trichophtalosis, which I do think we all should definitely be using our terminology. We use them in the hair salon. We literally say trichophtalosis and we circle it on the paper, and we, if they have it. Okay. So Cheryl, let's take it away with the science of tangled hair, split ends on Afro versus straightened Afro hair.
I'm going to give you guys another picture so you guys can, all of us, well, most of us have had children, right? And we know when baby comes out, it 9 times out of 10 is no hair or a lot of hair. But when they do, their hair is heavily been in fluid, right? It's been in fluid. So it has not matured, or what we call keratinized. Okay. And so the baby's one day, then it gets 6 months, and then it gets a year. Then it gets about a year and a half. And then we start going, hair is starting to get drier, starting to get a little dusty looking. It's not as slick, right? And shiny. And what part of the hair does the baby cry at? Hasn't had braids. It hasn't had anything. And they get 4 years old. All of a sudden, my baby's hair gets tangled, or it is always the ends. It is always the ends that gets difficult to comb, right? And so the baby is 6, and then you'll hear you want to straighten it, right? Or you want to do something with it. And it is always the ends that gives you guys the most trouble, right? Or you will be 11, and then all of a sudden you want to give it a press and curl, or you'll give it a flat iron, or you'll give it a blow dry. And guess what reverts first? the ends, right? And they have not had any vigorous anything. They've just been a child. And once you guys understand the aging process of a hair strand, now that hair has been on that baby's head since 10 years. So from 0 to 10, that same strand started here and now it's here. Okay, so what do you think from here, here, here? What hair do you think is the oldest? And see, we have to really get past of accusing always cosmetic reasons why hair ages or why hair splits, because you have to remember, why does hair, more than anything, just like cotton, just like anything, you'll have an old sweater and you'll begin to rub it and then it'll get little balls. And then you take a little razor blade. Everything that has an end to it will age because of the movement, because of rubbing, because of anything, just natural aging. And so when we keep attaching just split ends and attaching it only to what we call damage, that does us a disservice, because then when we say the word damage, then there has to have a cause other than it's a natural process of a fibrous. Fibrous means that it's combined and then it will come and then it will fray. But that's the natural occurrence of a fiber.
How do we get how do we get to that? Because when we were growing up and we got our hair pressed and curled, and it was just no such thing as this. And we had, I'm not, saying that back in the day, Miss Perline, and as you hit me on the Shirlene, y'all ever heard of Miss Shirlene? Cheryl just hit me on the Miss Shirlene. Now I'm addicted. So Shirlene, I'm not saying Miss Shirlene and I wasn't doing that, but now and it could just be because it's social media that we have more ways to talk about this than we did in this. It could just be a coinky dink, but how did we get to so much focus on any type of, what you call naturally occurring happenstance on the hair as damaged? So if I wet my hair and if this doesn't curl up, it's damaged. And I think this is where people
if your hair is
like but don't you heat damage my hair, like that kind of stuff.
If you wear it straight and it doesn't hold a curl, it's damaged.
Yeah.
If it's straight and it don't curl back up, it's damaged. That's because of lack of education and the number one culprit, and that's marketing companies that want to sell you something.
Okay.
What they'll do is they'll do this. Okay, so the woman you showed, her hair will be like this. It'll be curled up. So you don't see the split end. You only see the nice hair here. Okay?
Right.
Okay. Put it back. And then, all right. But then you'll start to see it when it's straight. Right? And that's what you want to cut off. You want to cut this off, right? But when it's like this, you don't see it. Okay. So it's an optical illusion. It's there, right? But it doesn't mean it's damaged. We think damage means something that is not cosmetic pleasing. Cosmetically.
Yes.
We think it's damaged. Right. If it interferes with our desire, right, it's damaged. Okay. Wow. Doesn't mean we're talking about the scientific damage of the actual hair strand of reality. We mean if it's interfering with what we want. So that's why you have all these hairstylists on social media now. They want to transition the hair from curly all the way to the tension state, which is unnatural, it's a temporary state, right? A straight style is the same thing as you take a natural strand of hair and you pull it out. That's a tension state, okay? So when you blow dry it and everything, and it stays in its tension state, now they'll take all of the end hair or at the bottom, right? Which is hidden once it curls back up. Now we're using the beauty standard that we said we didn't like 25 years ago, right? Now we're using that as a metric system, juxtapose it up to a coil, and say, now you can see the damage of the actual coil. Instead, right? And just instead of saying it doesn't look cosmetically pleasing when you're in your straight style. So now they get the excuse and say, see, this is the hair we need to cut, which that they wouldn't have to do if they would go back to their curly state. But because in the customer's mind, right, this will keep me from looking like this, then it must be damaged. And it's a lot of psychological.
Right. And that's, yeah. And what I wanted to, and what I wanted to do, and like, I like what Eleanor is putting in the chat. She said, you guys already said it. It's a money grab. If the hair isn't damaged, then they can't sell us the heat protection. They can't sell us the leave-in conditioner. But now we know for the professionals, we got to go one step further and let you guys understand what Cheryl is saying, to put some context on Eleanor's post, in the chat, is that when it's not pleasing, because we're going to get the customer's going to come into our space and say, LaDosha heat damaged my hair. So now we've got to put some context on the money grab. We got to put some context on the damage and what we're trying to sell. And so now we know that because it doesn't look, or if it doesn't make me feel, or maybe even the way the hair feels itself, says to the consumer. And now we also hear the professional is saying your hair is damaged. And what we're saying is we need to go a little bit more past Eleanor's statement and explain exactly what Cheryl is saying. Well, what you're speaking to is you don't like the way your hair looks, but that doesn't mean it's damaged just because you've got stringy pieces.
Because in our mind, fuzzy, I don't care how pro-black you are. I don't care how African you are. I don't care how much you love being black. Fuzzy wuzzy in your mind is unpleasing. Smooth, silky, straight, wavy, slick is beautiful. I don't care how pro-black you are. That is embedded into the marketing message, and that is what your brain and your fingertips feel. When you feel texture bump, uneven texture, you feel that strand in your mind, fuzzy wuzzy equals Afro. Afro in your mind means 4C, and 4C means difficult, and difficult means unmanageable. Those are so embedded into the Afro psyche. Okay. And so what we talk about on the side of Afro hair science, we talk about Afrophobia, and Black people have Afrophobia. And so that's when we get to replacing some of their language with another type of language. Now, that is fuzzy wuzzy to white people is what? Frizz. Frizz is just a curl. Hair unwanted curls. Now, some people have what we call 50-50. Most people who have 50-50 will be of biracial ethnicity, right? So that means that curl dominance will be triggered when they wash and come out the shower, whatever the case may be. But this is a slick, silky, silk press, satin straight. And this is one of the reasons what do we do when we straighten black people's hair. And when white girls get the keratin press or relaxer, what do? They take the end of the comb and they'll move the hair like this. And the
Yeah,
light
I do that. Got to do it in
says,
every video.
right, it's an optical illusion. And so most of these things, so when the hair starts to curl back up, curls are dominant. It'll absorb light. It won't reflect light. So in our mind, if it absorbs light, it means what? Dull. When it reflects light, shiny and healthy.
Yeah, we get,
These
and
are
these are
marketing.
right.
You
Yeah, and
cannot.
the strange, right, and the strange request. Let me just put your Eleanor, I just want to put your comment back up because this is what we're doing here on this episode. What no one tells you about Afro hair science. We're doing this tonight again to put some context behind the money grab, the damage that they're selling us, these products or whatever, is that when we see these images here up on the screen, here comes the trickery. Like Cheryl says, all of these are, it's just how the hair naturally responds in the climate after whatever you've been doing to it, whether you put color on it, whether you use a flat arm, whether you've been wearing ponytails. That's how the hair looks. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's damaged.
Right.
And that's where we have to go ahead, Cheryl.
So let's say if you have Afro hair, this is Afro hair. Then once this curl get with this curl and that curl get with this curl, now all of a sudden it's a ringlet. Oh my God, you got pretty hair. So so when the hairs come apart, that's frizz. That's Afro. That's the fro. I don't want my hair to fro, and it's another way of saying frizz. And frizz is another way of saying Afro. So you want all the hairs to stick together. Those are ringlets. That's good hair. All right. So when you then look, don't comb it. Don't comb it. And then this is high definition. This is frizz.
Right.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. So
This
we
is
gotta. Yeah. So we have to. Yeah.
brain. Right.
Yeah. Right. Okay. All right. Let's get some clips going. You guys are doing good in the chat. All right. Here we go. Now this clip. Now again, we just put some context on it. So this one here. This lady is actually giving what her version of Afro hair science. And by the way, I am getting these off of TikTok, and so she makes products. And again, we're going to put some context to each clip and each example. If you have any questions, especially you're a hair professional and you have some issues and you're like, I really need some answers to help me understand this, drop your questions in the chat. We're just trying to get this conversation going some more. So here we go. Here is another version of Afro hair science. Here we go.
Your hair isn't breaking from dryness alone. Though dryness can be a culprit, but it's not always breaking from dryness. In your case, it could be breaking from microscopic fatigue, which is when the hair strands, they swell, they close, they swell, they close. And so I'm Amika. I am founder of Strands of Faith, and with a background in science, I'm here to give you real knowledge that leads to real growth. So if you notice that your hair is soft one day and then like the very next day is dry, or that it even snaps when it's moisturized, that is a thing. What happens is tightly coiled strands can absorb water very fast, but it can also release the water just as fast. And so when you think about a sponge, how quickly it's able to absorb like a whole bunch of water, and then you squeeze it all out and it's dry again. But what happens with your strands is when it goes through that constant swelling, contracting phase, then it can create these little microscopic fatigue tears along the hair shaft, and those can lead to breakage. So that has nothing to do with the moisture per se, but it's more of a structural damage that happens in the process of those little shrinkage and contraction cycles. So this is why people with tightly textured hair, why it's very important to be mindful of how often you do wash and goes. Because first of all, wash and goes aren't truly wash and goes.
It's hard out here for some naps. when you're trying to get some money for the kinks. You know it's hot out here for the kinks. When you're trying to get some money for the naps. I think we just trying too hard. I mean, see, the thing of it is that people are really perplexed about Afro hair because I think they keep trying to make it a monolith. Now, let me just, and then Cheryl, just take it away. If y'all don't walk away with nothing tonight, I mean, I'm for real, y'all. If y'all don't walk away with nothing, just know this. Africa has the largest gene pool on the planet. Okay? The largest.
Come on.
You could take you could go like into a little community in the Gambia, right? And get all the blood samples, maybe like 150 people, right? Do you know the variations would be in that genetic expression? And then you could go to like America and you would get some of the sameness. Are you guys understanding? Mm-hmm. The genetic expression is too large to classify. You can't cookie cut it. It's personal. It is so personal. And I think what's happening is that they think that all Afro hair, when you say Afro hair, people automatically go to this. That ain't it. They think it's the tightly, it's or it's this. Or they either think it's this or they think it's this.
What you talking about, huh?
So, with that being said, no two heads of hair are alike. And I think what's happening is people are trying to cookie cut, especially when you went 4A, 4B, 4C, 1A. That really, excuse me, y'all, it fucked people up. And so they're trying to explain it. So that's if y'all can't take away nothing, that trying to put a blanket on it. No, if you go to Google Scholar and you just type in research on Afro, they're going to tell y'all they just got started. They straight hair science, that don't apply to us. And I'm going to back out the room and shut up and drop y'all questions in the chat. But I think that is something that I see that I don't think, no two heads of hair, none. Like humans, no, not even twins, not even identical twins. Sure, let me shut up. I'm getting a little long-winded here. I apologize.
No problem. You know, first of all, 4C, I'm gonna say, if y'all don't take anything away from tonight, is that I can't be scientific if I put Afro hair science at a 4 and straight hair at a 1. That is unscientific. Okay. Nature always places dominance first. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, the more Afro, the more dominant. The more dominant, the more ubiquitous. Okay, now, and because P. Lolo is correct, when you find a continent, it does not have a national way to look. Because you have a continent, big landmass, then 54 countries inside of that landmass, and in then 54 countries, they have thousands of tribal of ethnic groups within that country. And then even within those subgroups, they have tribal groups. And so the more you get into the continent, the more differences you're going to get. The more you scope out, it looks like one continent. It's not a monolith. It is thousands of subcultures within that. Okay. So much that you will get a common relative that lives all the way in China. That is just as much African than the next country over. That's just how vast it is, mind blowing on how vast it is. Now, with that being said, right, I want you guys to look up micro fatigue.
Okay. Micro fatigue. I am looking it up.
Yeah,
Microscopic
fatigue.
You want the definition or you want a picture?
The definition. Just read what it is.
All right, here we go.
Yate.
Microscopic fatigue refers to the initiation and early growth of tiny cracks within a material's structure. It's the unseen precursor to macroscopic fatigue, studied with a powerful microscope to understand material failures and components.
Okay. That is not what she was describing. And see, this is the problem with people who wear white coats. And I mean, it sounds foxy, but it's not applicable to what the subject matter is. And there is nothing in the retail, manufacturing, chemistry world that could solve that. If that is the proper term to use, and she misused it. And I think that is one of our issues with product selling, not science teaching. See, product selling and education, scientific education, they're not the same thing. I can keep, you know what I mean? And we keep mixing up me wanting to sell you something and selling you from a marketing and making the product sound so fabulous, like bonding, right? Texture bonding and
moisturizing. Moisturizing is the buzzword now. Everything is moisture.
Or now it's hydration and trying to differentiate. Right. But at the end of the day, if I were to tell a person, and let me ask you guys another question. Does the body in and of itself shed? Does the body have a version of a split end? Of course it does. Skin has skin cells that die and you need to get them off.
Right.
Okay. What else sheds? What else sheds that's extremely important to the human body? And it actually sheds. It sheds one time, but it sheds. What is that?
Okay, let's see. We know that our skin, our scales shed. We know that our hair sheds. What else sheds? Come on, guys. What else sheds on our body? Let's see. What's up, Lady Lisa? I see you, cousin Brenda, gorgeous grand. Everybody, Alexis, Shantae over on Instagram. Okay. Our skin. What's up, free Nelly, sbcglobal.net.
What's up?
Okay. So we got the skin part, and we know our hair sheds. So what else sheds? Would our fingernails be a part of skin? Okay. A skin is our I was with you, Earl. Okay. I said, let's see, me and Earl, we was already on it. I said nails, we tried out here. Come on. What would you I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. Everybody in the chat, like, okay, so that was a good one. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. Good one. Umbilical cord. We shed the umbilical cord. Okay.
I'll let you guys out of your misery. How many people have the same teeth?
Damn it.
You lose your teeth. Every human being, dogs lose their teeth.
Ooh, that wascally wabbit. I can't stand her. I can't stand the wascally wabbit. Look at me at Eleanor. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. Eleanor, I got this one for you. Hold on, Eleanor. Here we go. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, I gotta find it right quick. Hold on. Here you go, Eleanor. Here we go.
Stop. Hammer time.
Drop them hammers in the chat. Damn it.
In other words, yeah, our teeth. I don't have the same teeth. Babies, they'll come in. Them two bottoms, them two tops, gone.
All I want for Christmas is my two front teeth. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Then how could Fuzzy Wuzzy be a bear?
So your body is regenerating. Not everything regenerates, but it does grow back. Okay, and so it's supposed to go through what we call cycle, and the number 3 usually means triphasal. Now, what happens when Black babies go through about 4 more than the average human being? So that means that Black baby, hair is going to change about 5 to 6 times before they get to pubescence. When they reach pubescence, they're going to have a whole new body. They're going to be an adult, or they're going to maturate, right? And hormones and everything decides the density. It decides everything. So to say it's not a science is like really not true. Okay.
Right. So where she was going is she was trying, and everybody is even when I was in Africa, everybody is perplexed by the nap. They're perplexed by the way the hair, what it naturally does. I don't know why are people, I know you said Afrophobia, but and it could, and I don't know, could it be cultural or generational? Maybe this generation did not get that affinity with their Afro hair like we got with ours, because they're really trying to understand what's like Live Work Clean said, that was just nonsense. Trying to because it's like, how when you're a little girl and you want to you get your first heartache, right? And you're I liked him and whatever, and your parents say, okay, it's time for us to have a big girl talk. Like, everybody ain't gotta like your ass. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't like you. You just got to get over it, right? So I think that I'm just talking about myself. I ain't talking about y'all, okay? I think that we have to sit down, and we tell this to the parents. You have to sit down and talk to your children and tell them that is what the hair does. I mean, microscopic fatigue and snaps. Afro hair snaps.
Well, let me ask you guys,
because they want to know, well, how come when I comb it, you see the hair? I just combed it out, Cheryl. But then when I combed it again, it was some more hair. Then when I blow dried it, it was some more hair. Why?
I know I'm gonna answer that, but can I ask you guys a question? How many of y'all had a Barbie, and even the Barbie's hair had split ends? That shit would end. That means fiber at the ends don't stay smooth. They just don't.
Right.
At
Yeah.
the ends don't
Yeah.
stay smooth.
The
It is
effort that they are putting into trying
the
to make this
damage is like Eleanor. Eleanor says, okay, so it's going to naturally do that. Let's just sell them something to say that they can prevent it. You can't prevent it like the common cold. Medicine has advanced. They can't solve your runny ass nose. They just can't solve that shit. They can't. The doctor even will say, just go home and take some Robitussin and some Tylenol and call me back next
call me
week.
in the morning.
Yeah.
Take
They'll
2
even
pills and
say
call me in
that.
the morning.
Medicine has advanced, but they can't stop the cold.
Yeah.
They can't, because it is, the body has an immune system and you are exposed. The hair is exposed. It starts moving. It is the physical phenomenon of aerodynamics.
Yeah.
Plain and simple,
It's
right?
like I think Eleanor is hitting it the nail on the head again. She's saying some of us have been conditioned to believe that our hair needs to calm down. It's Afro hair. It's supposed.
Now, here's the key. Afrophobia. Guess who else needs to calm down? You. That black person needs to calm down. See, it's Afrophobia. It's aching to not see. That's one of the things that when we get into Afrophobia, because Bo Derek, for all who remembers Bo Derek, we'll just use Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian in cornrows is not threatening. She doesn't need to calm down. A black woman in cornrows is questionable if it's neat and professional. And there is a classic. That's one of the reasons why we get into the Crown Act, but we won't go there tonight. But that is a difference in our perception. And black people have to correct their own perception, and then once we correct our own perception, then we can correct other people. You can't do it.
I think you got to bring your expectations down to for someone to think in their mind they can concoct a product or chemical, natural or whatever you want to call it, that somehow, some way you're gonna stop that afro from
throwing,
or the little from throwing and the little net balls. That's just what. Here's a funny one. I was laughing, right? This is a funny one, guys. When we say this is what they do naturally. This is so funny. So anybody ever read Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret? You have to be old enough. Has anybody in here ever read Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret by Judy Blume, right? So everybody knows the famous, come on, y'all, say it with me. Let's say it with me. Go ahead, let's say it. We must increase our bust. Right. So this was in, Judy Blume. In case you guys don't know, Judy Blume was about the coming of pubescent, okay. So she's trying to get the boobs things, right? They want the boobs to stand up. And I remember we're just kind of getting you guys to understand this, what these things do. Hair, the nappiness, that's what it does. You cannot stop the nappy. You're never going to stop the nappy. No moisturizer, no gel, no. You cannot stop the nappy. So I wanted to know, how come my boobs did not stand up? Because that was supposed to, get the muscles and your boobs can stand up. So I'm like 12 years old, and I'm like, well, my boobs don't stand up. Here go my mother. It's called gravity, motherfucker.
damn
telling you.
bun.
And Chrissy was there. She'll tell you because Chrissy boobs was just perky, and her boob, her boob was just. And you busted Chris her busting. Her boobs was just budding and just perky boobs, and my boobs were like sagging, and I just wanted to know.
Be quiet.
My mother, she had no filter. What the fuck you asking me? They big. Big boobs don't stand.
Oh my God.
That's why your ass got to put on the bra. I'm sorry, Stephanie. Stephanie, I'm sorry, Eleanor, but I just want y'all to understand. That's what it's supposed.
Yeah.
It's called nappy. They call it nappy for a reason. That's what it does. That's just, you know, my mother's she just said, no, it's called gravity, mother. That's what they big. They makes that you passed that. Your ass putting on a bra. Ain't no sports bra. Ain't no you ain't wearing no training bra. Your training is over. Okay? Hair is gonna nap. Ain't no microscopic fatigue, no moisturizers, no slip and grip, no curly custard. It's going to, as soon as you calm it out.
Now. Unless there is unless you cosmetically alter it.
Say it again.
Unless you cosmetically alter it.
All right. So if y'all questioning, again, we're talking about what no one tells you about Afro hair science. You got two good ones that we got you guys going. Let's move over to another one. This is getting good. Don't forget, if you have any questions about this, please drop your questions in the chat. Maybe you have a phenomenon that you wanted something answered. We can help you out tonight, especially if you work in the beauty industry. So now we know that the big thing with hair is consultations, and people want to know how their hair is looking under the microscope. So now we want to see, I'm going to have you guys watch this clip as this young lady went to have her hair analyzed so that she could see the science of her damaged hair. And again, we're going to talk about what no one tells you about Afro hair science. Here we go.
Shows that your hair has a lot of damage. And so as you guys can see in that last sentence where it says root hair has a diameter of 100 micrometers to 135 micrometers, and it decreases to approximately 50 micrometers near the mid, and then less than 20 micrometers at the tip. So my hair is literally thinning out from the root of my hair to the tip of my hair, and that is very problematic, and that can lead to hair loss if it's not addressed ASAP. And then also the micro tears in my cuticle. So cuticle is the outermost part of your hair. It protects the cortex and the medulla. And when your cuticle is damaged or has tears in it or is raised, it's just not good for your hair. Long term, short term, it's a really, really bad sign. I'm also going to work you through the actual analysis of my hair so you guys can see that I'm not playing around with this treatment this time. And it's a new year, so we are going ham in this treatment. So you guys see the hair damage grade right here. It says my hair has moderate cuticle damage. And as you guys can see, there's two shapes in my hair like I talked about earlier. Right up there, there's a triangular shape of my hair. That's where hair is more natural and just more curly. And then the ribbon flat shaped part of my hair is the part where it's a lot more straightened out. Now, these are the images that had me shook. As you guys can see, the mid of my hair, there's a lot of deposition varying in topography. And it's just kind of all on my hair shaft. I will admit I did use a lot of products in my hair that morning, but holy cow, this gave me a little bit of a wake-up call. And also at the tip of my hair, you guys can see there's a lot of material deposited there too, and just kind of all over my hair.
If you do hair analysis, Please let us know if you do hair analysis in the chat. Again, this particular podcast, it is for licensed professionals. So we want to hear from you guys. Are you doing analysis in your place of business? Please let us know if you use the scope or just use your eyes. And so now we're starting to hear some descriptions again on the phenomenon of just trying to have this perfect strand of cuticles that does it. I mean, I didn't know this is going to be a new thing now. Microscopic tears. Cheryl, so can I pull up some cuticle layers? So can we talk about some cuticle layers of Afro hair? Can we just talk about that? I'm just going to bring up a picture, and then you could talk about the cuticle layers of Afro hair. Let's go there, and what might people be getting wrong. Again, when we talk about the science of Afro hair, we need to help them understand just the anatomy of Afro hair. Is it different? Whatever. I don't know. Yes. So here's the cuticle. This is what we normally see. And so she's describing that if the cuticles aren't smooth and all this, so take it away. What's the science of cuticle layers on Afro hair?
When you see a different pattern, or when you see reverting, you'll see, and that's one of the reasons why we use grease. But the cuticle.
If I have a heart attack on this podcast, then my son knows.
Okay, y'all. I'm gonna get through this.
I'm about to mute my mic.
Okay. Now, because the cuticle has a job. Okay. The cuticle is the only part of the 3 layers out of all 3 layers. Just like a tree. Y'all got palm trees or some type of tree that the city will come and shave off and manicure it, just like y'all do y'all hair in the salon, right? It'll shave off the weathered cuticle of the tree, and then take all of that and make compost out of it. Okay, because it's weathered, because that's what naturally, because it is only to interact with the weather, the wind, the environment. And once it is exposed to air and weather and water, all the natural stuff on planet Earth, it still is what? It starts to decay. It starts to age, and they'll shave it off and throw that away and make compost out of it. Okay. And then now the tree stump is all smooth and everything. The cuticle is what ages, but it is the only thing that responds to the environment. Only when you cosmetically, chemically alter it is where you are messing with what we call the cortex, where most of all of the atoms and particles and bond and amino acids and all that stuff is. Okay? And those things don't change unless there's an altercation or a metabolic interaction, molecular interaction. That's the only thing. Cuticles are what makes your hair respond to environmental forces. I'm going to say it again. Cuticle only interacts with environmental forces. Make sense?
And that's why we use grease.
That's why we use grease, because your ancestors knew if you would put a barrier in between, it would slow it or stop the environmental relationship or the transmitter or the messenger saying, oops, it's wet out here. You have a barrier, an oil barrier, the oil will slow that message down and won't revert. It's a simple. You have
Sorry, y'all.
mosquitoes. You got mosquitoes. The mosquitoes will land on the oil or on the layer and go, ugh, and then won't bite you. Okay? Because they can't penetrate the oil layer and they won't land and do things of that nature. Pathogens, usually your ancestors and great grandmothers and great grandfathers understood this. Okay? And so that's the one reasons why I said we use grace. Okay, now you can laugh.
All right. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all, for laughing, but it's just that simple, y'all.
It's
Okay.
you love
So,
medulla, you guys don't.
yeah, what?
Cosmetologists don't. They don't have anything to do with the medulla. Okay.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
who are dealing with natural hair practitioners, moisture and all that, you guys do not interact with the cortex.
Right. Yeah.
You're
Natural
not
hair. Yeah. Yeah. You're not.
chemical
Yeah.
affect the cortex.
All right.
You
So
are
we have a question for you. We have a question. Okay. Here's thank you, Esther. By the way, Esther, in case you guys are wondering, how we get up here all like this. She is our de facto producer, by the way. She helps us make this better. Esther, I hope we have made you proud in this past 2 years. So again, guys, let's give Esther a big round of applause. And don't forget, you can subscribe to Esther here on YouTube, and definitely please go show her some love over on Instagram. She has some wonderful, wonderful content. But she has a question for you, Cheryl. She says her question is how possible for products like K18 to penetrate deep inside the cortex without a chemical process?
It's a lie. Plain and simple. See, you have to remember the chemistry has to be there. And so
Yeah.
when you're a hairstylist, undereducated, or you're a client that is given too much information that you can't decipher, okay? Because the only thing that we could basically, so you have to remember, how would you ever lose keratin? How would you even, it's not the question about how do you get it from a product. Because at the end of the day, if the hair is only made of keratin, if there's no keratin and you can't glue it back on, you guys have to understand, how do you lose it?
Yeah.
How
Let me just.
How do you lose diameter loss without a chemical process? How do you have a shrinking diameter without a chemical process? How do you lose the cuticles? You can't snatch them off with no braids. You can't snatch them off.
Can I just let me just jump in right quick? I don't know if you guys realize a couple of things. Because I excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm just that laughing heart. Let me just broaden this up a little bit, Cheryl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people understand how many layers of cuticle comprises of one strand of hair per the genetic expression. And I'm saying per the genetic expression because these images are just that. They're images. These are not images to make a blanket statement across each individual person's head of hair. It's just to help us have this conversation, right? And so it's impossible without a chemical to take all of these layers off. It's just, you just can't do it. It's just not going to happen because you don't have the swelling agent to kind of move it up. This is a fibrous. Remember, it's designed to protect the inside. It's like your skin. You can't get to your heart unless you.
Yeah, but to make your point, how many cornea strata do you have in the epidermis? before you even get to the dermis.
Yeah.
That's her point. Just
Right.
because
Yeah. It's so many.
just because it's something microscopic that you can't really fathom with your eyes does not mean on the nano level or micro level that it is insignificant. Because
Right. And let me just say this about the K18 to their credit. It's preferably used like during that chemical process. You know what I'm saying? Because they know that once you use the ammonia, any swelling agent that's going to get to that outer layer, that's optimal time because it's in the action that they want you to use that product. Once the water hits the product, the relaxer, the ammonium thioglycolate, the demi-permanent, the permanent hair color, right? Those are the or the what's the other one? Oh, oh gosh, I forgot the name
cellophane,
of it. No, not the Sullivans. The Brazilian blowout. These are all chemicals.
okay,
All right. So once those chemical processes are happening, that's when you can take advantage of those products. You can put it in before, right? Because once you swell it, it can ride on the back of the other molecules and get in there and do some stuff.
we go
But
again.
once you
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Now, the
once the
problem
water
is
off, it's finished, guys. It's done.
right, but here's the problem. Then what becomes the enemy if the ammonia is swelling and allowing for something such as K18, which is nothing but amino acids, right? Because at the end of the day, you are still talking about a hair strand that does not respond like that because it's dead. It can't,
and it's still on your head.
Yeah, and I can't grow another bone.
It's still on your head. Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, but I can't grow bone density. What I can do is reset it and put a cast on it, or I can get something what we call calcification. Okay, but at that point, you have to understand that there is nothing in K18. And if we were talking to K18, the basic thing is, how does someone's hair get that damaged to the point where they want you to have such damage to the point where if you put this on, you will see some difference. The key here is that when Black women, especially, when we go and do something, I want you to tell me, how would your hair get damaged? If you're natural, or you've been pressing, you've been whatever the case may be, how does it get? Where does the things you lost, where did they go? If you lost cuticles, where did the cuticle go? Did it fall off on the table and you just brush it off on the floor? Like where did it go? And that's one of the conversations, because that question is what's making us susceptible to the sales message. That's what's getting us being susceptible to scam messages. Those are the things that get us to start buying things that are not. The
nanotechnology, that's the buzzword that they're using to kind of sell the product. It kind of lends to the word that Cheryl taught us, y'all, is called permeate, where the product can get underneath and kind of fill it artificially, much like acrylic sits on top. Or remember, they had silk wrap. You had all these different fibers and polymers that you could put on top of a nail to reinforce. They can do those types of things. So, and that's a science, if you will, of coating the hair, but actually getting into that cortex, that's going to be a hard,
and you guys have to,
Yeah, it's going to be a hard science to prove. I think there was a live. I'm going to see if I can find it, Esther, and send it to you, where the chemist actually broke this down. And me and Cheryl, we watched it. It was over on LinkedIn, as a matter of fact, and they did a good job saying that our cuticle layers are not like like those your blinds at home where you just open and close. They don't quite work like that. Eleanor has it right. The cuticle is designed to protect the cortex.
Well, there's a
I mean,
question.
it's like your skin is designed to protect your bones. You cannot slough it
Well, it's not.
off with an exfoliating scrub and say I'm going to get to the bones and damage it, or
Well, it's not.
whatever.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's not a shield. It's a living organism. It has a purpose. Yeah, it's the most hydrophobic part of the hair strand, but it still has a purpose because it's the layer that interacts with the environment. It is what gives you the hold, the symmetry, it's what creates the shape and the pattern. It's the texture. It's what interacts and allows you to change, transition in the look of it. It
Right.
allows you to do that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So my
Right.
point is, just because it's on the outside and it is protective does not mean that it's its sole job. It does have a shape, a color. It allows you to have the optical illusion. Now,
Mm-hmm.
on the diagram you have there on your screen, you have this one that's at the bottom level, and it's the second
Mm-hmm.
one. Oh, it's the picture. Now it says
Mm-hmm.
medulla, cortex, and cuticle. Look how
Mm-hmm.
much cuticle you have to get past to get to the cortex there.
Right.
Just that.
That's what I wanted them to understand. It's
Right.
so many
So,
layers, and the stronger the hair. Let's take like a Asian hair. Oh my gosh, Jesus! Or just and that's a stereotype. Remember, these are just to help you get a visual, because there are Black people who have very strong, like it's really strong hair. That's what coarse means in the cosmetology terms, is how many layers to make that hair what strong. In layman's term, it means like gritty. So these things have different meanings. Also a question right quick. You said Afro hair doesn't grow down, but when it gets long, does it starts to fall down?
okay. I to say it again.
She says if she has a question, I have two questions. When the first one
Okay.
is, you said Afro hair doesn't grow down, but if it does get long, doesn't it start to actually like come down? It's fall down due to gravity. I'm sorry.
Right. But Luana, I want you to understand, why doesn't the center of your head ever grow down? The center. You will have this front part, this part grows down, this part grows forward, right? This hair never grows down. It's always stays up this way, or it goes up this way, or it falls forward, right? Okay. Only these hairs here, from your ear to the back until the right here. This is the only hair that goes this way. And that is only because of where the follicles are pointed and because of gravity. It doesn't mean, and you have to understand, white people's hair, or the straighter the hair is, the more downward, the more it falls to gravity. The more it falls to gravity, because it doesn't have what we call an S chain, an S pattern. They don't have an S chain. Okay. And so one of the things that I want to tell, length is not a goal for Afro textured people. Afro hair grows in a spiral, a curl, then a circle, then a halo, then a round afro. Only the hair from here, the back, is down here. Everything else is here, there, or up. It's a sphere. Now you got to be proud of that. You can't just keep being proud of This cannot
What
always
sits on
be
the
the
shoulder.
determinant of success. This
Right.
can't
Yeah.
always be your determinant of, because at that point, and I'm going to be really honest with you, I just have never understood what this movement, natural hair movement, Y2K, it is obsessed with the very standard it's trying to go against. Make
Yeah.
me understand
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is so
And the
length
other
of,
thing, yeah, and let me
and why.
just say this too. We got another question here, Cheryl, and we got one
Mhm.
more clip. We're going to let you guys get up out of here. But let me just say this too about the research, okay? Um, Now you go to Google Scholar. Don't go to Google. Go to Google Scholar because that's where your research, your white papers, or all that stuff is. And they also have it where it's been vetted, so you can get the vetted and the unvetted versions, of what the researchers are doing. Okay, so please go to Google Scholar if you want some of what I've found. I will share it with you. I'll just drop the one in the chat after the live. Okay. But right quick, here's what they're saying so far about this outer cuticle layer on Afro hair. Now, remember, this is emerging, so don't take this statement and run with it. Okay, it's emerging, and there's a handful of scholars who's world renowned for studying Afro hair. What they know for sure so far about the outer cuticle layer for Afro hair is that this design, and Cheryl talks about this all the time, this image that you see on a cuticle, medulla, and cortex, that does not reflect Afro textured hair. They're saying that our cuticle layers actually has a concave where, we talk about it as in shingles, but on Afro hair, they're saying ours kind of come back down. So that makes that cuticle layer even a little bit more tighter. So a lot of times when we're talking about the science of Afro hair, we're talking about it from a straight hair science. And Cheryl talks about this in Afro hair science. We have to be very careful that we're not using straight hair. This medulla, this cortex, this cuticle layers, this is straight hair image. So we need to get our, as Cheryl calls it, our Gray's Anatomy. It doesn't even reflect Afro hair. So when the person is giving you their explanation about swelling cuticles and nanoparticles going into reach the cortex, they're probably giving you a premise from hair that's straight. Afro hair science is emerging. Dr. Willie Morrow was at the beginning, the precipice, the originator. He did the work. Cheryl has it in Afro hair science. So now I just want to say that so you guys can know, and I will drop that research so you guys can just see it at the beginning. So Eleanor asked the question, let's address the stylist saying dead ends. If it's out of the scalp, isn't the entire strand dead? Good question, Eleanor.
Eleanor, I don't know who you are, but you are addressing questions from a critical analysis. And your questions are implying the inconsistencies of our education and why we apply dead only to the ends, of course, once again, is unscientific. And you are correct. So we even have to understand how we need to change our language. And because you have to remember, if I am in cahoots with manufacturers as a stylist and I'm not in my public advocacy, then I'm going to lie and I'm going to make it up and I'm going to keep making it up and I'm going to keep making it up so I can, be of importance or say something shocking or profound or sensationalism. And oh my God, your heads, these are dead ends. You are trying to cut through that and to make it make sense. Okay. Because at the end of the day, when we say hair is dead, It just means it cannot repair itself. It doesn't have any regenerative material, doesn't have a metabolic process in which to heal itself. You are correct. That is what we mean when it's dead, because it's a keratin long chain. It just keeps stacking, and it's growing from the follicle up. You are correct. So all of that matter, which is keratin fiber, is a dead end process, like your fingernails and your cells of your skin. It's sloshing off, and it's, things of that nature. But in the professional styling salon world, we're trying to get more money. We're trying to sell you stuff. We're trying to say that I can do something that I know I can't do, because the best product that can solve most of the problems that you're talking about, Eleanor, is what the product is the master solver. What product?
Chemicals.
Eleanor.
Oh, sorry.
What did you say?
Oh, I said
Chemicals?
Chemicals.
Yeah. It starts with an S. They are the number one solver product. They're called scissors.
Mm-hmm.
Never fails. It always fixes all problems. And since scissors is the number one product that we use to solve all the problems, that means that the products are not working and are not designed to work on split ends, because split ends, or something that ages, something that frays, something that does get degenerative, like it's supposed to, because it's biological matter, then we need to be truthful about it in terms of being professional. Being professional, being truthful, to me, it's one and the same.
Right. Yeah.
But because we get marketing, it starts. So your question is very critical. That's a good critical analysis of it. But unfortunately, we get caught into our allegiances, and we get allegiance to the money and the money grab, and then the product. And then I discovered a product that somebody over there didn't discover. So therefore, I'm going to say, well, this, we do get into, and unfortunately, and I do apologize to most clients and customers, but hopefully I'm talking to professionals, we got to take the ego out of it.
Right. And you got to start. Right. And I also just want to say this, when she talked about her hair being thicker, right? And then it got into the middle, it got thinner. And then when it got to the end, it was very, frayed and damaged. Again, like sure,
that's wear and
that's
tear.
just, it's, guys, don't
natural wear and
listen. That's the science of the hair. It's the fiber. As it gets older,
right.
It just, only
have you ever had a poncho?
Yeah.
Scissors, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only thing that's
and let me just say
this.
And the reason why the hair moves more when you trim it is because you cut a weight line. Not the fact that you cut them off. When you create a weight line, as in a bob, the whole weight line. When you create a weight line, it moves. And once again, and then when you cut more layers, it moves even less, right? But the layer is to the illusion of fullness, right?
See that?
Thickness, right. So when you cut the weight line, and then she starts moving, and they go through that comb, and what they do online. That's
let me do.
Go ahead.
Y'all love that. That'll get you about 20 likes when you do that, But that's the Drake game. We got to sell y'all something, okay? But you got to understand that, that's right. The layers makes it looks more wispy, right? So all of this, because this is art, we want to show you how you can take this fabric and mold it, and you can flip it and rub it down and all this other good stuff. But the science to Afro hair, at the end of the day, we hope you guys get it. You ain't nothing gonna stop them snaps and naps unless you put a chemical on it, okay? When the comb right here gets
or movement, right?
Yeah. When the comb gets stuck, That's the comb is just it's just stuck, y'all.
And let me just say this. The comb is always going to get stuck if you're going to use a rat tail. That's one of the reasons why African people, when they came to this country, right? They adopted because they had combs like Kilolo got in her hair. And you can't do no hair like that with that kind of comb. So they adjusted because their God-given nature of having a very dominant hair strand could be straightened. Because you have all that.
Not acculturated,
right?
Not appropriated, adapted. That's the new word, y'all. We adapted. We adapted. So we hope, we hope you guys, we hope you all are enjoying our series here this month. So what we got coming up, we're going to be back next week, and we're going to talk about, on Monday, we're going to talk about the reckoning. We do see, it's some reckoning now. They want to straighten, and first they said, no, we won't curl, we won't wash and go, we want to do twists, we want to do bantu knots. They like, no, now they coming back to straight hair. They're going back to the relaxers now. Here comes some reckoning, if you will, for lack of better words. Is this some regret? And then are we going to be here on Christmas, Cheryl, or do you want to be off on Christmas? Okay, all right. So, all right. How about I didn't have a topic for Christmas. I had one about moving forward, but how about we talk about a few of our favorite things? It is Christmas, so let's let's unwrap some gifts in my hair care line and talk about a few of my favorite things, and just to keep it simple. We hope you guys have enjoyed this, and bring in your favorite things. If you have some products here, remember, we're not knocking like Joico, some shea butter. People have their own reasons of why they make. We're not saying don't buy products. Just watch out for some of the hype, okay? Of what it's supposed to do, okay? All right. So and bring some of your favorite things, okay? Yes, I do. I have it's private label. Cheryl has some products and everything. So we'll talk about a few of our favorite things on Christmas Day when we come back on Thursday. And then you guys, if you could share some of your favorite products and what you like and why you like them. We need to know, so that we can all share. Sharing is caring. And thank you guys so very much for joining us tonight. Wow. We was rocking over here on Instagram, jamming. So come on back and join us on Christmas, and we're going to share a few of our favorite things, and we'll put the link in the chat. And if you want to come in and show us your products and what you like and why you like them, cool. And I think that's it. Cheryl, any closing thoughts before we wrap this up? This was dynamic.
I think that you guys are extremely ready, and you guys are so smart, man. Your question,
Eleanor, thank you so much. R. Clark, you guys have been rocking it out with us for a whole year. We hope you guys can rock it out with us again in 2026. Rika A and LB, Esther. You guys have really been, because we're the hair nerds, So we appreciate y'all for trusting us, and y'all bring a lot to the table, give us a lot to think about, and don't think y'all haven't dropped knowledge on us too, because y'all come through with some good stuff, and that's what I like about this podcast. The exchange is very good. Y'all, but no, Kilo, go on somewhere and sit down. You got that wrong. That's what we're here for. We're here to get it right. So we'll be back here on Monday talking about the reckoning. Now they want to go back, and then we're going to come back here on Christmas here on Planet Pluto Pseudo. And let's talk about a few of you can bring in your blow dryer, whatever your trusty brush, whatever you love. Let's bring it in and let's share a few of our favorite things, and then y'all can go shopping. Okay.
I got one more thing to say.
One more thing to say. Oh, yeah, we got to hold on. Before you say your one more thing, don't forget, I got my ticket, and we have a discount code, all right? We're going to create this tonight. And so if you love natural hair and you want to do your thing, don't forget Tondo Cafella, but you're going to bring him on soon, has this for our natural hair lovers. Here we go.
From the roots of tradition to the rise of technology, a new era of beauty culture innovation begins. Introducing the first ever African Intelligent Virtual Natural Hair Show, where the art of natural hair meets the power of artificial intelligence. This is not just a show, it's a revolution, a movement to celebrate Black excellence, creativity, and the genius of our roots.
All right, some AI beats rocking off by Kefele. That is the our AI African Intelligence Natural Hair Show. It's virtual, by the way, guys. So we will drop that discount code in the chat. And Cheryl, one last thing before we let them go home and go to bed.
Okay. Miss Nyakobi, please come on the podcast next January so you can have a conversation with Dr. Joy about shedding those pounds. And thank you for the comedy. We love you.
Yeah, that was good, Sister Nyakobi. That was good. All right. Okay, guys, y'all have a wonderful night. You know what we say when we're signing out, right? Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. And y'all have a good night. Oh, and don't forget to do this right quick. Never too late to hit that thumbs up button. Oh, scroll to the left and hit that hype button because YouTube is showing everyday people a little bit more love. Just scroll, keep scrolling, and you'll see that hype button. So hit that hype button. And then don't forget, share. If you know some people that's like this type of information, please share. Sure, you have a wonderful night. And again, we love you guys. All right, y'all have a good night.
Welcome to Planet Pluto.